Due to the recent executive order issued by President Obama on immigration, I became really interested in this topic. So I focused on both the physical and psychological challenges that immigrants face, specifically when traveling to America and adapting to the American culture. And so the two sources that I utilized were Typical American and Enrique's Journey. Typical American focus on a Chinese male who comes here for an education and his challenges to adapting to the culture, and Enrique's Journey focused on a young Mexican boy and his journey to be reunited with his mother in the United States. And so I used these two sources along with President Obama's executive order and various TED Talks, and I found it very interesting to focus on the challenges that immigrants face. But what I wanted to utilize was my two different sources of my books because they offer two different perspectives of two different ethnicities. So I thought that'd be very interesting to consider their challenges based on their ethnicities. And so in Typical American, the young Chinese boy comes here and he's forced to change his name. So he has to leave his traditional Chinese values behind, which is very upsetting for him. And in Enrique's Journey, he travels train tops for months and doing starvation and facing gangs, all that he can reach his mother and be reunited. So those are their two stories. And so immigration does not go unnoticed in their efforts to reach America. Although the world appears to be getting smaller, the boundaries that people are putting up to keep others out is really upsetting. And in a TED Talk called What If You Were an Immigrant, he talks about how it's easier to ship something halfway across the world than it ever would be to reunite a family in one common place. And so this was probably the saddest thing that I realized in all of my sources, because although we're putting boundaries up to keep others out, it's just sad that you would try to divide a family. And so immigration is an actual world issue, and that's why I was really interested in it, because it's really affecting our country right now. And so I started to ask, why do immigrants continue to risk their lives? And it's because they want to come to America, and it's the land of opportunity. And it's really important for them to be able to have basic human rights that we take for granted, obtain an education, and also get a job. And America can offer all of them that while their other countries can't. And so, despite the various roadblocks that they face and all the red tape and trying to get into the country, they continue to fight and they continue to strive to reach greatness. And in Typical American, he comes here to obtain an education, and he does that despite all the problems he has adapting to the culture. And in Enrique's Journey, his mother comes to America, like thousands of other Latino parents, to get a job and raise money to send back to their children so their children can have shelter and food and continue to buy school supplies and attend school. And what I realized throughout all of my sources was that although immigrants are coming here and we continue to keep them out and segregate them and think they're different from us, at one point in time, someone in our family, whether it's your parents or your grandparents or ancestors from thousands of years ago came here. I guess it was hundreds. But they were all immigrants at one point too, and they all face the same challenges. And as generations continue to move on, we forget that we take our lifestyles for granted while immigrants have to continue to fight, and they take the fewer jobs and they take the low pay, and we just continue to push them aside. And so I thought that was really important as I learned about the risks and challenges that they face.